Matt Reynolds here, editor of Packaging World magazine, back with another edition of Technology Minute. Today I'm with my fellow Wisconsinite and occasional ski bum, Mark Navin. He's the VP of Sales at Spee-Dee. Welcome, Mark.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Good. So I know I got a sneak preview of some of this equipment at Pack Expo Las Vegas, but Spee-Dee has some new entries into the rotary filling machine market. So why did Spee-Dee get into this area?
Originally, it was actually a request from a customer of ours. It was actually a large infant formula manufacturer, and they were not necessarily happy with what was on the market at the time. And a lot of the designs were outdated, built in the back in the 60s, and they were looking for updates to controls and improved sanitation, changeovers, et cetera. So that was really why we got into it, and it's been a huge success for us.
Okay. And what did Spee-Dee's new design really add to the table or bring to the table?
First and foremost, we went after controls, getting things instead of having gear drives, gear-driven units and chains. It all went to servos and timing belts. We also really focused on sanitary and hygienic design, especially with the first several machines going into infant formula and infant cereals. That was a huge need in the marketplace. And then after that was really focusing on changeovers and improved, not only improved uptime, but improved changeovers. So we got a patent on a magnetic funnel design that holds the funnels to the rotary turret. So there's no tools, no fasteners needed to take those parts off. And then change parts as well, making sure the change parts go in and out of the machine quickly and easily, and with no adjustment points. Everything is set it and forget it type design.
All right, what about speed? How big is the speed issue when it comes to end users?
It's a good question. Actually, there's two different areas I guess I'd answer there with related to speed. We have the speed that the line is running, which is of course important, but there's also the speed of the changeover that we just touched on. We've found out that you can run, 400 bottles a minute, but if it takes you 4 hours to change a line over, you're really not gaining that much efficiency. So those two things combined are hugely important to our customers, and that's really why I think a lot of people have been moving over to Spee-Dee from our competitors.
Okay, and you mentioned bottles. What types of or what range of containers is Spee-Dee running on your fillers?
Let's see, a lot of still metal cans, believe it or not. There's still a lot of people doing steel cans. Also seeing a lot of PET plastics. We're seeing, I think, a comeback really with glass. There are a lot of people going back to glass. We have composite cans, paperboard cans, and the most recent thing we've seen is a new offering, relatively new offering from Graphic Packaging and their AR packaging division that they just purchased, and is a container called Boardio, which is a recyclable paperboard container that's made out of flat stock. And we just did two lines, two fillers with those containers, mine for a coffee company, and that's really been well received, and we're excited about that new offering.
Okay, yeah, hope to cover that in Packaging World actually pretty soon. And you mentioned steel cans. With all the movement and sustainability these days, steel cans are really quite recyclable and they perform well on any sustainability metric.
Right.
So
Right.
what types of products are being filled using rotary fillers? We talked about the containers. So what's filling them? You mentioned coffee. What else?
Yeah, so we only focus on dry products. There's a lot of liquid filler companies out there, but we focus only on dry. I would say that especially with the last few years with COVID and everybody cooking at home again, the spice industry was a big boom for us. I think a lot of people opened their spice cabinets and realized that stuff had been there for many years.
Yeah, I've
And
had that experience. Yeah.
right. So spices was really big the last few years. Other powders like nutritional powders, right now collagen is a really big product for us. We mentioned coffee, we've done cleaning powders. And then beyond powders, we get into providing machines that instead of having one of our auger fillers feeding the product, we'll do either combination scales or counting machines. And those usually will get into the nut industry, the cheese industry, and then also lately gummy products. specifically supplements and vitamins.
Yeah, that's big in the nutraceuticals market, I can imagine. Do those gummy products require anything different or a different treatment?
Definitely. That was a when we first got into it, I joke that the bottleneck is literally the bottleneck in that industry. Being able to singulate the gummies and get them to go into the container one at a time and still maintaining a high rate is a challenge. And we just received a patent in the last few months on a new technology that we developed to do that. And that has really gained us a lot of business as well by being able to run, say, a 70 count gummy bottle at up to 180 bottles per minute. It's been
Wow.
a great find and a great discovery for us in development.
Well, great. Well, thanks, Mark. And also thanks to our listeners today. We hope you found this information informative. And that wraps up another edition of Technology Minute.